It's about 5 o'clock p.m. on Sunday, February 26th, 2023. I'm not sure if it's 26. I'm pretty sure it's 26. Anyway, so I moved them to the last section of this pasture. I'm going to go look at that grass in a second here. I want to show you guys some things first. So my chickens are laying eggs. They don't quite know where they're supposed to lay the eggs yet. I guess they all decided this was the best spot to lay eggs. So there's 5 eggs in the back of my side-by-side. Makes my job a little easier, I guess. Let's go look at this grass though. It's about 73 degrees right now. Humidity is really high, so I'm sweating a little bit just walking around. We had some rain this morning. Oh, look at that grass. Look at that grass. Before I go much further, Greg Judy did a Q&A. I'll try to link to it in the description. And one of the questions somebody asked had to do with how much cows need to eat, and kind of a question about, like, what do you do if you don't have tons of grass and the cows aren't doing super awesome? And Greg Judy, excuse me, he kind of wagged his finger at us and he says, hey, if your cows are skinny, you need to feed them. And just because you don't have enough grass is not an excuse. You need to get some hay or feed or protein buckets or whatever it is and keep them alive, because we're not in the business of killing cows. So I really have to take that to heart, think about the condition of my cows, and if there's not enough grass to support them, I feed them. I hay, I feed, I put protein buckets out to keep them alive. This is my worst performing cow here, number 24. And I don't know. The other cows are doing okay, it seems to me. He says that their hip bones are sticking out. Well, my hip bones are sticking out, but they're not too bad. Anyway, there's lots of grass here. Not as much grass as I wish, but there's lots. This, I believe, is the hairy vetch. I believe. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I believe it is. The grass here is pretty dang good. And another viewer, and I said this in a previous video, asked if it's time to give him more land and more grass. Well, no, I want to slow him down just a little bit longer. If anything, I would like to keep him off the grass for another couple weeks. Give the grass a little bit more time to recover. But I think going slow like this is fine. And there's patches of grass here. This you can tell is a place where I unrolled some hay and it burned in the fire. So I guess even burned hay is nutritious for the field. You know, how long should they be eating? Well, I've only seen this a couple times in my pastures, but they're gonna stuff their faces with grass as much as they can get. And then at some point their stomach is gonna regurgitate it and they have to go through and chew their cud. And so after an hour or so, they'll wander off and start chewing their cud, and then after a while they'll come back and eat some more grass. But cows will eat as much food as you put in front of them, and that's what the business is putting grass in cows' mouths. Thankfully the cows do most of the work. I don't have to have a haying machine out here, and I don't have to force feed them. They do that on their own. So when the grass starts to get taller, then we'll really start rushing. The ryegrass, I believe this is all ryegrass. The ryegrass is good eating for the cows. They love it. And they'll eat as much of it as they can. The summer grass, not so great, but it's better than nothing. Right? All right, let's just go take a look at some more cows here. So yeah, there's some pretty good grass here. I wish the whole field looked like these pieces of grass here, which that'll come with time. And even if it's not enough grass to feed them all, I got to keep them out here. I got to keep them pooping and peeing on the field, and adding feed or hay to the mix, or protein buckets even, is probably necessary. He mentioned his new farm that he got the lease on. They did soil testing, and like the pH was pretty low, 5.5. That means it's very acidic. And I think it's like at 6.1, the clover and the other legumes will start to grow. So if you don't get the pH up, then nothing's going to grow. And adding nitrogen to the soil just makes it worse. So he likes to add lime and phosphorus. Lime obviously lowers the pH. The phosphorus, I'm sorry, raises the pH. And the phosphorus is a supplement that the plants need. And he does that to kickstart the pasture. And as he explains, nature has a way of doing it itself. But nature takes a long time, and sometimes we don't live that long. So we have to sometimes give nature a little kick in the pants to get it started. And haying, putting hay out, rolling the hay out, letting the ground absorb the hay is one of those things we can do that kind of kickstarts the process. And that's what he did with that one pasture that he had that wasn't that great, is he rolled out a bunch of hay in the winter. And hopefully that hay will decompose and provide a good solid start for that ground to really start growing. But just putting cows on it and doing rotational grazing is not going to be enough. Now, maybe after 50 years it'll make a big difference, but I need to be thinking about how to add stuff to the soil without damaging the soil, and sprinkling nitrogen everywhere is not it. So I think I'm doing pretty good. This will be my third year. So 2021, 2022, and 2023. This is the third year. I've been doing this for about a little over a year and a half now. So, and my goals were to kind of understand how the grass grows and how the cows eat, and just to get out here and spend as much time as I can watching these things do their job. And hopefully these videos are helpful in that regard. Was that a cough or a sneeze or something else? I'm glad I wasn't standing behind that cow. This is the pasture I put him in, by the way, during the ice storm. They were cold. Some of the cows were shivering, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. And I moved them out here so they could take cover in the trees and the brush. There was grass that hasn't been, I haven't grazed here since June, I think, of last year. I left this explicitly to be the stockpile. But as you can see, they went through it in a couple days. By 3 or 4 days after the ice storm, I came back and I saw that they all wanted out. There wasn't anything left for them out here. They'd basically eaten all the easy stuff. But just because you set aside land for stockpile doesn't mean you're going to get stockpile. So I might have been better grazing it in the early autumn rather than letting it stockpile. So I might have been better just moving the cows a little quicker. I don't know. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? So I'm not smart enough yet about how grass grows to know what to stockpile and how. But you can see here the ground is really soft. This, when I got this land, this was just mud, just like it is now. This stick marks the 50-foot mark, or the 100-foot mark. So I gave them a little extra land just because the pond was in the way. And I can't attach to the gate. 21 Secret, she likes to graze under the wire. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that if I gave this grass another 2 or 3 weeks, it would be at my armpits. It may even be quicker than that, but I'm going to be here next Thursday morning. We'll be in this part of the pasture. So I might get 1 or 2 more inches out of that grass. Let me just kind of look at the future here. Yeah, so Thursday morning I'll be here. And then next week there really isn't much to look forward in this part of the pasture. It's a golf course. It's a wet golf course. Something's growing, but not very much. The grass that is growing is a light color, which means it's deprived of certain nutrients that it needs. And I was thinking this autumn, I may just spend a bunch of money on seed and throw down on the ground a combination of ryegrass maybe some wheat, hairy vetch, and some red clover. Seeing if something will stick. You know, I talked to the seed company right now to see if that'll do something. But you know, this is the next couple weeks in this part of the pasture, at least. It's not looking too great. I think you can see more green piles down there in that part of the pasture than over here. So anyway, yeah, you got to feed your cows even if you don't have grass. That's one of the mistakes I made, is I would wait too long before rolling out the hay, or I didn't buy enough hay and things like that. So yeah, the first couple of years, just expect all of your profits to go into hay and feed and seed. And as soon as you can get your pasture kick-started, you know, like if my whole pasture looked like this grass right here, I wouldn't be thinking about how do I help the grass grow better. I'd be celebrating, having a party every night, and asking myself why I didn't buy more cows. So yeah, it's coming along. It's coming along. All right, guys, have a great day. Take care, and bye-bye.